And then you go to Pepsi, and of course they're competing against each other. So the chances of both of them ever coming in will never ever happen. So again, you have to, you know, because they're going to look, they're going to be following it. And then any special attractions or sponsor opportunities that may fit in there. It's corporate sponsorship done right. You can. It's now May. You can still fool around a corporate sponsorship for this year for some real good money. But you have to have your business plan along with your marketing plan, along with your design for the haunt and everything else in order for them to look at you seriously to perhaps spend some money. All right, now the various categories we list off here as far as sponsors: beverages, travel. Of course, there's your local hardware stores, which are Lowe's or Home Depot. I can't get into too much on sponsorship issues, but if you're going to Lowe's or Home Depot or something like that, you're dealing with their corporate big guys. They're going to send you right to corporate generally if you're looking for a lot of money. There's sports, sportswear, movies, candies, snack foods, fast foods, music, radio, cable, network, all that kind of stuff. Okay, fit in. Now, this is corporate. It just means so much if you can get those corporate sponsors involved, because their names tell the story. If you're going in front of somebody that's going to consider putting up $50,000 or $100,000 to help you with your haunt or whatever that number is, they want to know that you've talked to these people. They want to know where it stands. They want to know everything. As much as we hate keeping notes and all that as artists, you have to do it, or you have to assign somebody to do it, which is cool too. Okay. All right. Moving right along then. We're now getting into the venue. Of course, the location, the name of the venue, the address, who the owners are, if they have a website, the area, population, demographic, the drive-by per day in front of your location, who the director is, and then you have to we leave fields here for any extra information. Last year, the location, the venue that we were at is also an operating living history museum. We couldn't set up our hayride until after 3 o'clock every day, because the public, the school systems are coming through with busloads all day long. And we're like, how the heck do we do this? It took some imagination, but we had to figure it out. So before we were reactionary, we had a plan, and that's obviously why we're here, right? So, okay. Things that you're going to need for the venue then. Just think about venue, nothing else. Parking vests, are they parking or reparking? Who's parking? The money aprons to collect if you have a parking concession, which always helps, because if you don't know already, if you take $1 or $2 and donate it to somebody, it gets your head in their door. You smell if you've got the case of beer or they're shooting up heroin in the front seat or whatever else, you can solve the problem right then and there before they even get down into your haunted area, okay? It's a really good thing to do. Of course, everyone's on radio. It helps an awful lot. So I always recommend getting that buck. It also starts lubricating them from taking money out of their pockets. Think about it, okay? And if they don't have a buck, because we're in a credit card world today or whatever else, say, I'll let you get this one time, don't tell anybody, okay? That type of thing. But just lubricate sales, it helps a lot, trust me. Flashlights, two-way radios, and then is there a fee? Are there splits? Are there security? Break down each and every individual thing. Guys, ladies, this is homework. It's not fun. But once you get it done, oh, it's great. That's why we made this template. Because all we do is just fill in the blanks. Okay? Moving right along here. Now we're looking at concessions, because they're going to want to know, first you answer yourself, are you going to have paid concessions? Are you going to be giving stuff away? Are they opportunities? I mean, you can't very well sell a concession to somebody that's going to be selling selling their own hot dogs, and then you've cut a deal with the local caterer that's got exclusive on the event or whatever. You follow me? This is the Bible. These are the answers, okay? So again, just break everything down. I've got to zoom through this. There's so much to go on here. Inventory. All your inventory. All the props, all the makeup, everything, the condition of everything. All that's important. The bottom line is, guys, believe it or not, when you walk in, you've got your Bible, which is your business plan, and you're showing it. If your intention is to go to the township and say, here's our business plan, or the city, or whatever. If you're going to a bank because you need money, here's our business plan. They will be so impressed if you have gone through and done your homework on all this stuff, okay? It's there if you need it. Inventory, they know the value of where you're at. You're dealing with money people when you're dealing with business plans. So you have to operate in their world, because they won't operate in ours, unfortunately. At least not till opening night. So anyhow, there's of course the props, the sets, the audio, the lighting, special effects. And then there's additional haunted effects, your animations and the like, tools, materials, vehicles. Keep in mind, this is all tax deductible or tax effective, meaning that if you buy a new animation, you come here to HAuNTcon and you see that giant cobra that you just can't live without for whatever reason, you purchase it, you can deduct over the next 5 years use of that against yourself. That has value. You have to have a show value. Okay, so like you may have, say 1 year, like you bring in, I don't know, we'll just say $300,000. Okay, well that's your gross amount coming in. The show itself that you've been building over the past 3 or 4 years may have a value of, well, just, I don't know, $120,000 and sets and props and makeup or whatever else. I'm just pulling arbitrary figures out there. But then the point is that really you don't have a $300,000 show, you have a $420,000 show because there's value in those props and all that. And that's why when you get with your cast and crew, you make sure everyone understands that if they break something or whatever else, you know how it gets in the heat of the moment, building, right? You've got to look at it simply as a business that has value to it. Okay, same thing with your labor, same thing across the board. As we all know, prevention is the best cure. When you build something like this, it helps you again to go back and look at what have we done and what haven't we done yet. So, moving right along, some more thought items here. The cast members. It doesn't matter if you're doing a nonprofit haunt or a full-blown commercial haunt. The stuff that's in this book is exactly the same as like Not Scary Farm or Bush, Anheuser-Busch uses with their, well, it's not Anheuser-Busch anymore, but Tampa, Hello Scream, Thank You, and Halloween Horror Nights. God, yeah, crazy. So, I'm sorry?
You need a Mountain Dew.
I do. I'm not doing fast enough. Yeah. Now I need a Monster. They're a sponsor this year. True story. True story. Yeah. Very, 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 very true. And that's the cool thing about it is because they talk to each other. If you know what you're doing, okay, like I'll tell you, Alan, back in '94 when we worked together briefly, did I know what I was doing? No. Not in the arena I was operating in, because I made the mistake, another promoter came in, I made the mistake of getting way over my head because I thought I was hot shit because I had the insane asylum thing, right? I had never gone into the commercial end, dealing with promoters and dealing with big time and all the sponsors and everything, and I was just like, ugh, I mean, it was nuts. It was nuts. So, but then the other thing too is don't be afraid. Give yourself license to, if you don't have it in here, just say, oh, that's not even in there yet. Yeah, man.
The sponsors you're talking about, do they pay a good percentage towards it? Like,
they can. It's a relationship. It builds. It builds. Yeah. I mean, you can have someone to come in. And see, the cool thing about our world, our lives, is we don't know what next year is going to be. In 2001, 9/11 hit, and I lost 110 grand. It's simply because we couldn't open. Because the local fire marshal dude was saying, and I had the business plan. I knew what I was doing by then, okay? I had the business plan and everything else, but I never knew 9/11 was going to happen. And this guy's saying, well, there's always this issue or that issue. And I made the mistake of saying, don't worry, I'm an expert. I'll take care of all that. Well, he booby-trapped me left and right. And then to prove his point that you never know what could happen, 9/11 happens. And he goes, see, told you, so you can't open until, November or August. Fiasco. But that's the point. The more educated you are, the more you're able to offer back to them. People get upset when when you don't communicate with them or you don't have the right answers for them. So, but build that team. That's really, really important. The cast members, how many cast members you're going to have, their ages, where they're at, because you might, if that information is not available, the people that you're working with may not, they may just lead you in a different direction. Okay. Example is if you're opening a haunted event or an attraction and they're different, and you're doing it for the neighborhood kids, and a local beer distributor wants to get involved, you say no. So you have to list out all this stuff. That's your business plan. Fortunately, because of today's world, the internet, you can go on the internet and download a free business plan template and just plug in all this stuff as well, okay? How much you intend to make, what your hours will be, who's going to be providing the marketing, and just, again, just list off everything you possibly can. And that's what I'm trying to help you out here. I'm running off, well, okay, I've got a couple minutes. When I put this in, marketing. Within the marketing, there's the I always, believe it or not, this part of marketing is broke down to doing appearances, okay? We've got our costumes for the appearances, our makeup effects, the character development, and the lead characters. Rusty here is Slim Chance. We had Fatty Chance, Ferris Chance, Days Chance. All these characters worked out for this theme and everything. We were then able to use them. I like to tease people by developing this stuff as I'm developing the business plan and giving it some fun. Never do you see graphics, pictures, and video and all that built into a business plan that's given to a bank or whatever else. I do it because it excites them. It's just something different that stays on their desk that way. So I always suggest doing that kind of stuff, okay? And then within the marketing, are you going to be able to go to the radio station and work out a media partnership relationship, or are you going to have to buy the advertising for it? All that's got to be answered, because at the end of the day, it comes down to the bottom line. It comes down to how much is there, how much is in the bank accounts, and whatever else. And just from last year, I'm going to go back to last year for a minute. Don't ever say to yourself, oh, this is going to be a great year. Our first weekend last year, like I said, they had done 30,000 in gross in the past with 7,000 admissions. Our first night open, we did $47,000, and we had, I can't remember how many, because we had two haunts and a hayride and an old anti-carnival midway and that stuff. But those people were running around like, oh my God, we're rich, you know? And then I was pretty cocky because I used to live in Los Angeles. I produced in Orlando. I live in Orlando, and I said, "Thank God we're here in New York because there's no earthquakes, there's no hurricanes." And oh, this is great, right? That week we had an earthquake and a hurricane in New York. True story. It snowed before we opened the following weekend, so we brought in $250,000 show expenses for $250,000 because we weren't open that last weekend, which was our profit weekend. Was that part of my business plan? No. But you know what should have been? One of the partners bought a rain insurance protection policy, okay? He didn't know how to fill it out. So the point there is, why are you going to list it? Why are you going to do it if you're not going to do it right, okay? He would have made, one of the other haunts up in that area, Millville, Long Island, got a check for $150,000 for that Saturday night because they knew how to put we had a snow blizzard. We literally had a snow blizzard up there, and they did it the right way. So they covered their butts, but unfortunately we didn't.
Did you make a recommendation on that?
No. The crew, okay, so getting back to crew, there's the effects, the maintenance. A lot of people think that you don't have to maintain this stuff because you just bought the $5,000 animation from Scare Factory or whatever, and it's going to work forever, right? Owner from Scare Factory here? I can guarantee you they don't. Okay? They don't. Great company, all that kind of stuff. And not only have the materials in place, but have your workshop, because if it goes down, where are you going to fix it? Have the people that know the pneumatics, if that's what you're dealing with. And all that. Please, it's the best thing I can suggest is you and your executive administrative team go away, lock yourselves in a motel room somewhere for a weekend and do this, okay? Just because then you're going to start really feeling like you're in control. That's why we call it control freak, okay? Seriously, moving along. The setup, the strike, the operations, transportation. If you have celebrity icon characters coming in from the airport, who's going to pick them up? Taxi rides are expensive, and I can tell you this day and age, like when Rusty, I fly him all over the place and all that stuff, he's got people picking him up, he's got people dropping him off, he's an icon character, okay, and that's really, really important that everything's taken care of previous to, right? List out stuff. If they're corporate, make sure your operation, if you're not already, incorporate. You have to incorporate. You have to protect yourself and your family and your belongings and everything else. That's like number one. And in the articles of incorporation, you're going to have your mission statement and you're going to have your business plan. The other thing I suggest, again, I apologize for talking in circles, but a business plan